Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Merry Christmas Eve. Um, and yeah, Southampton versus West Ham United preview. Unfortunately, West Ham United play again. That's the wrong way. It's a proper badge, by the way, proper West Ham badge. It doesn't this hat doesn't fit my head anymore, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. We're trying to hit 1,000 as soon as possible. Coming up to the end of the year, people. And yeah, 1,000's going to be the goal for 2025. But yeah, West Ham unfortunately play football again. This time away to Southampton, a game that we should be winning. We should be winning. How many times have we said that? Man said, "Big up, Michael." You know, you're taking a fucking piss. But Lopetegui sounds like some dead pastor. I can't believe he's Spanish. I can't believe he's Spanish either. He's a disgrace to football. Yeah, Michael, you know. Big up to Melon. Shout out to the Villa fan as well. Merry Christmas to yourself. Merry Christmas to everyone that celebrates it. And all of that as well. And listen, I'm just here for vibes. I'm here for vibes. I haven't got that much alcohol with me. We'll probably have some more alcohol. Probably on a watch along, to be honest, because I don't really want to be sober when, doing a watch along on Boxing Day. Ivan Juric is a dangerous manager to play against. Yeah, I've heard about his formation, I've heard about his stuff. I'm not really too bothered either way, though, just because regardless of who they have, we should be beating them. We should be, and I think we actually will beat them, not because we're good, but because they're genuinely dog shit. Um, then again, we lost to Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester, but I still think Leicester have a better squad. I just think they were less prepared at the start of the season because, yeah. Shout out to Warrior. Enjoy tomorrow because on Boxing Day you could be in for a pay-for ride. I could be, bro. Shout out to yourself. Shout out to yourself as always, because the 26th could be a long day. It could be a very long day. It could be a very long day, but you're gonna see it live anyway. You're gonna see it live on the channel. He plays this really aggressive style of football and doesn't give opponents time on the ball. That should be fun then. That should be fun for West Ham United. Good vibes only. Yes, good vibes only. Big up Mike's like and sub. No. Stop! You need to stop trying to get me to say that shit. Shout out to Dave as well. Merry Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to everyone here. And this is a game we should be winning. This is a game I think we will win because this is one of them games where we will bail ourselves out once again, people. Because I can't see us losing this then just before with the fact that we lose to Liverpool and Manchester City, the inevitable two losses. We play, Liverpool at home and then Manchester City away. Despite how bad Man City are now, we're going to lose to them. This is a game we have to win regardless. Not the fact that we're in a relegation battle or anything, but it's more for the fact that you need points on the board. I don't want to see us in the bottom half, really, and we're not going to get the top half this season. But if you actually care about this and think we've turned something around, which we haven't, then go on this run of unbeaten games, which this manager likes to stretch out already. Have you watched any of Juric's football? I haven't. I've never watched a single minute of Juric's football. I think he was at Roma, right? I don't even think I watched him there. I don't even think I've watched a Roma game since Mourinho left. I watched a lot of Serie A in terms of like the big games, like the ones that are always on like 7:45. But I've never watched Juric's football. Never in my life. I don't know whether I should watch like a tactical breakdown on it or something. If anyone has a good link, but to be honest with you, what I will say, despite the fact that I think that we're going to win, I think it's the 3-4-2-1 formation that he likes to play. Those kind of formations we don't usually play well against, but that was more under the Moyes era. Then again, we did beat Glasner's Palace this year, but typically with West Ham against Xabi Alonso last year, Glasner last year, and at Frankfurt, those kind of formations we don't usually play well against because we don't play a three at the back. I don't want Lopetegui to match him up like Moyes used to do, where every time we come up against a team that you would usually play at three at the back, we go for three at the back. So the wing backs don't stretch wide up the pitch. So we match up with them. I really hope we don't do that because the whole point to change this managerial thing was to get make other teams be worried about us and play our style of football. But we haven't seen that once this season, not once. We tried catering towards Nottingham Forest by playing five in the back. I don't know why he went five in the back against Nottingham Forest when we lost that 3-0 a couple of months ago. But that didn't work. That didn't work either. Don't do drugs like Adrian Mutu. Don't know where that's come from. You and me both, we have to go to bloody St. James Park. Yeah, peak for you lot. Or like Melon. Yep, don't do drugs like Adrian Mutu or Melon. I know you're in vibes and you logged out, but do you think this game could be a dangerous one since Southampton wants to show impression under the new manager? I still think you win it, but just wondering. Maybe, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like as much as I've said to you on Twitter, and like I've said in general that we're going to win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw either, because we're West Ham, and everyone's seen us this season on the how we fluctuate in terms of results this season. But for me, there's no excuse but to not win it. I feel like it can be dangerous because, as you said, obviously new manager bounce. You don't really want to come up against any team when they're on a new manager bounce. We've seen it with Man United under Van Nistelrooy rather than Amarim. You've seen it with Van Nistelrooy at Leicester as well. You've seen it with the Vitor Pereira guy at Wolves. They battered Leicester. Even though Leicester were on a bad run of form, they capitalised upon it. It comes to a point as well, and this is where it's the most dangerous. It's actually when teams are worse, is when the new manager bounce hits you like a rock. Because it's a case of the players the managers lost the dressing room, so the players are frustrated with the manager that they actually have in general, and then all of a sudden, they turn up because they are so happy to feel like they're free again and play football. It happened with Villa fans here, like Gerrard. When Villa had Gerrard, they battered Brentford with a caretaker straight after he got sacked. It is worse when it's like a really, really terrible manager. Like with Gary O'Neill, they were getting beaten by Ipswich at the end with a corner to take, for example. Then they bounce back against Leicester because they're so free of Gary O'Neill. So relating it back to this, cool, they had one game under one or two games under a caretaker, Simon Rusk, I think his name is. One against Fulham. I watched the Fulham game. They generally don't know how to score a goal. And Tyler Dibling came off at halftime. I don't know if that's because of an injury or not. I don't know whether he's fit. I don't know what the injury status is saying. But hopefully he doesn't play against us because that's the only player I'm actually really worried about when it comes to Southampton. Ben Brereton Diaz has a good record against us over his past couple of games. Adam Armstrong has got pace. So maybe against Mavropanos that could be a problem. Hopefully Mavropanos doesn't play today, but doesn't play on Boxing Day. And Saliba does play, but it is what it is. It doesn't really matter at this point. Adam Armstrong isn't a good Premier League striker in general. Cameron Archer can pop up with a goal now and then, but Cameron Archer isn't a Premier League player, a Premier League starter. He could be a good squad player, but not a starter. They've got good wing backs. They've got good full backs. Sugawara, Walker Peters. They've got good midfielders. What's it? They've got good midfielders in Ugachukwu and Flynn Downs. Ugachukwu back to playing. He clearly fell out with Russell Martin, and he was back to playing against Fulham. Harwood Bellis is a good player. Harwood Bellis is a good young player as well. Benderek and Stevens are trash. So I don't even think the three at the back can help them. Nathan Wood has had to come in. Pause. And that's his name, by the way, Nathan Wood. That's a terrible name. You've got Chris Wood and Nathan Wood. You must be getting mocked in school with them kind of names there. But he's a championship player. I don't even know who they're going to have in goal. I don't know whether it's Joe Lumley again. Whether it's Joe Lumley, Alex McCarthy, or Aaron Ramsdale, I want you to pepper their goal. With shots. Pepper them. Because these ain't great keepers. These ain't keepers that are going to get you out of sticky situations again, pause, like in a crucial amount of time. When push comes to shove, they'll buckle. We don't take shots enough. We don't pepper teams with shots. We don't shoot outside the box enough. But let's get into your comments again. Forster versus Sanchez would have been prime Barclays for the wrong reasons. Just don't try to jinx this game like you did it versus Bournemouth. Yep. I've had that reminded me of a couple of times now of that free kick. Hopefully there isn't any more clippable moments against Southampton. Well, hopefully there's clippable things in a good way, like that benefits me and West Ham United, not just my YouTube channel. Mike Spear, wish you a Merry Christmas. Shout out to yourself as well, Colin. Wish you a Merry Christmas as well. Would not be surprised if we were to get beat after the season we are having. Could be a 1-0 to them. I just have a gut feeling that might happen. I wouldn't be surprised, Colin. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat us 1-0. But Leslie Ukachuka want to watch for sure. See some promise in him. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think he's a really good player. He actually started well at Southampton. He faltered in a couple of cup games, but he clearly had a falling out with the manager. And because as soon as the manager left, he started playing again, and he held the play quite well against Fulham. They've got Fernandes, they've got Ugachukwu, they've got Downs. They're actually good players. Like Joe Ariba is a good squad player as well. For me, with Southampton, they don't have a designated striker and their centre backs, and they had a championship manager in the first place. The reason why I predicted them to actually survive was just to be unpopular. To be completely honest, I was just trying to be unpopular. I didn't want to predict 3 of the promoted teams to go down because I knew that's what most people were going to predict in their Premier League predictions. But I just thought they'd adjust it a bit. They still got wash players like Ryan Fraser. They made it permanent. Obviously, Maxwell Cornet hasn't been playing all season. We've loaned him to Southampton. He can't play this game, but he's probably going to get recalled. I'd imagine he even gets recalled, or we just don't bother to recall him, and he wastes another season of football. That man needs to go to Azkaban or something. It was Ramsdale's last game. It was Ramsdale last game, was it? Oh yeah, it was against Fulham. The thing is, I watched against Fulham, but I don't remember who the goalkeeper was. Only thing you know about Southampton is you're facing 11 players on the pitch, and that's it. Maybe Tyler Dibler could cause you issues here and there. That's the player to watch, of course. With Southampton. Tyler Dibling's been amazing. Southampton fans were calling on him to start for a long time, and I'm pretty sure the first time he actually started in the Premier League was that Manchester United game. I don't know why the lighting's a bit fucked. And then he took the game by storm. They actually had a great first 20 minutes, dominated against Manchester United, played the ball off the park because they're terrible. But what's it called? They just lost the ball. They lost their composure. Very naive in defense. And if we don't score against this defense, I don't care what formation it is. Like it's all good playing a 3 at the back and a 5 at the back, but when you're sitting back in whether you can be compact, even if you haven't got the quality to stay compact with the defenders that you have, then it doesn't really matter about what your shape is. It doesn't matter about what your shape is. You just got to pepper them with shots. With the quality of attack that we have versus the quality of their defense, you'd like to think that we'd outscore them. Tyler Dibling, great driver with the ball, can pretty much play across the front 3 and in the number 10 with the positions that he gets into. He's a proper like fun player to watch. Like there ain't many fun players to watch. Tyler Dibling is one of them. Do I think he should go to a big club straight away? No, because the guy has still got a lot of years on him. I think he should just stay. Not even outside. If he wants to move to a club just below a Big 6 club, I think that would be the best move for him. And even then, he shouldn't really be a regular starter for anyone right now with his age. He shouldn't be, because now that Tyler Dibling's the one standing up for Southampton, and all the media attention is on him because he's an English attacker. So it's going to be interesting to see how his career develops. But I'd imagine he's going to be one of the players that everyone's going to be looking at in the summer, regardless of what I think he should do. Him and Liam Delap and players like that. Obviously, Flynn Downs is obviously a former player. We'll get into that in a second. Shout out to Deck as well. Big up, Mike's, and happy Xmas to you all. Happy Merry Christmas, bro. Didn't know orange was Christmas colours. Oh, we were talking about my top. This is yellow, technically. It's just orange in the light. I just chill at home jumper. Apparently, Juric wants to play death metal football in his formation 3-4-3. I've heard quotes about his like high pressing and aggressive, as a Villa fan said earlier and stuff. We don't usually play well against those kind of teams. We don't actually play through presses quite well because what we do, we just send the ball like in channels and send the ball long, and because none of the midfielders go to like pick up the ball off the defenders because we're not structured that way. All we do is we're exactly the same as last season where we pass the ball short from the goalkeeper to the centre backs and then we send it long. So that kind of style of play is actually probably the worst kind of style of play that we could come up against with the team that we have, with the manager that we have. Not the team, but the manager that we have. Because we don't play under pressure. We don't coach under pressure. We don't look coached in general. We don't look coached on the ball or off the ball. That's just the way we look in general. And if anyone watched us against Brighton, it was pretty much the same thing. A little bit of press, just send the ball long, get hit on a turnover. Paquetá suspended. I just forgot about that. Paquetá suspended, too many yellow cards. Soler will be back, though. Soler will be back. So you like to think, then again, you got Edson Alvarez. Edson Alvarez, like, as much as I don't like Souček, I'm looking at Edson Alvarez a little bit more very recently as well. Them two, Alvarez and Souček, and then Soler trying to do everything in midfield. That could get long as well. That could be long as well. But it's still better than what they have. Then again, I'd rather take Flynn Downs over Edson Alvarez, who we had, by the way. We had Flynn Downs. I was upset when he left. I still think he's a good player. For me, when it comes to Flynn Downs, he's definitely a Premier League level player. It's just that Russell Martin has wanted him since he moved back to Southampton because he had him at Swansea, got him on loan last year. And Southampton couldn't cooperate without Flynn Downs in the team because he brings them that natural balance. in that number 6 position. Good in the first phase of play, driving with the ball, etc. I think he could have done a good job for us, but we had David Moyes here who didn't want him. And then obviously Flynn Downs was reassured of more chances of getting appearances at Southampton than he was at West Ham. Now that the club are rumoured to wanted to already sell Guido Rodriguez 6 months in, you wonder if it was really worth it. Shout out to Colin again. Might make this is the team. I would like to see Fabianski, Warren Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman, Skull, Somerville, Soucek, Soler, Bowen, Kudus, and Guilherme up front. Feel this team will cause havoc. I just wanted to, I think we should stick with a striker up front. If not, then put Bowen there. But I think Kudus working down the middle could only work if he's in like a designated false 9. But we don't coach that way. We're kind of fucked up front, to be honest with you. By the way, why your team keep having heavy injury doubts before a game? I saw the quotes from your manager saying West Ham has 2 players have small issues and need assessing. Do you know what, Warrior? He says that every game. I remember before the Brighton game, he said there's one fitness test that needs to be had before the Brighton game. And there was nobody out of the ordinary that wasn't in the squad from what I remember in that squad. Maybe apart from Aaron Cresswell. But I think Cresswell's he's never going to play anyway. So even then, I think it's just what the manager says. That I think because everyone picks up a knock, he likes to use it as mind games. Meanwhile, I think he should be focusing on trying to coach rather than trying to play mind games in the press conference. But he kind of says that every game. Could have seen a false 8.5 creating a 4-pronged triangle. Oh yeah, I forgot you had Downs. I think most people did as well. This is a kind of the thing. Like, I wanted to keep him. He's one of them players where it's like, what could have been if we had a manager that had some form of IQ that knew how to play possession-based football. God knows, but he would have been a mainstay. In fact, let's think about this year. If we didn't sign Guido Rodriguez and we kept Flynn Downs, for example, and Alvarez was playing the way he did, and Flynn Downs wanted he wanted to stay anyway. He didn't mind where he went, but he would rather go to where he was going to play. Alvarez was off form, let's say. Flynn Downs would have been in. But then again, we don't have a good manager, so it kind of doesn't matter. Big up to Lee. Hi, mate. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you as well, Lee. Shout out to yourself. Merry Christmas, Melon. Melon, lay off the alcohol today. Manager rebounds. Funny how it's happening again to us. Funny how it's happening to us again. Merry Christmas, Mike, to you and your family. You as well, Scott. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well, Scott. And yeah, do you know what? It would be, what's it called? It would be poetic for it to happen again to us. Of course, the first game of Ivan Juric is going to be against West Ham United. I think Southampton are fucked anyway. Will this be a new low if you somehow lose to Southampton? Well, given the fact that they've only won 1 game, I'd say yes. Let me check the Premier League table because I think they've only beaten Everton. All right, let's get the table up. Let's go look at the bottom, yeah? The bottom of the table. The bottom 3 is Wolves, Ipswich, and Southampton. Southampton have won 1 game, and that was against Everton. Do you know what? It's the most West Ham thing ever for us to be someone's second win of the season. It wouldn't surprise me. It would be a new low. Sorry, you guys can't see that. They've won 1 game. They've drawn 3 and lost 13. It would be a new low, Warrior. It would be. Because if you didn't think it'd get bad, even with how bad I didn't think it was going to get, it could get worse. You could lose to 20th place. I can't remember the last time we lost to a 20th place team. Like a team being at 20th place at the time when we lost to them like a good 10 games into the season and stuff. Like, I really don't remember the last time that's happened. For me, if we lost to Southampton, it'll be even more painful for the fact that I know the manager isn't getting sacked anytime soon because of the 3-game unbeaten run. And Man City and Liverpool are next. Even if we lose to both of them, he's not getting sacked because they're going to say, well, they lost to Man City and Liverpool. That's the mentality we have, unfortunately, with the ownership. With the ownership in charge. 1 win, if you're 1 game away from winning and you win that game, you are no longer 1 game away from winning. You're like 4 or 5 games away from winning. Like 5 games away from getting sacked, I mean. Mike's up here in the fitness test on Kilman. We're going to see, aren't we? 1 game and 1 win in 17 games. Who did they win against? Everton. They won against Everton at home. And Everton, the only reason why Everton didn't win is because of an offside call right at the end as well. But that kind of sums it up against Sean Dyche, and Everton aren't having a good season. They're drawing 0-0 with every Big Six team, but they're not having a good season. They're not a good team. And I can't believe even Southampton even won that game. And going back to their points, they're on 6 points right now. Like, this is a new low for any team. It's not even a Premier League squad in terms of like defense and striker. Everything else is actually workable. Goalkeeper, fullbacks, midfield, and wingers. Wingers to an extent, maybe just dibbling, but that's a bad team. That's a bad team, but they had a bad manager as well. I think it kind of doesn't really matter what manager they get at this point. Like whether it like obviously it's Jurich now, but it didn't really manage. It didn't really matter what manager they got. They're fucked regardless. There's no team that has been at this point, at this point of the season, with the points tally that they have, to rise themselves back up. We just drew to that scary Everton super team. Not a bad win to have. Fair. I can't even put any of West Ham players in FPL since I can't predict how your team plays. Yeah, the only one that should really be safe of you putting in your FPL team is Jared Bowen. I don't put any West Ham players in my FPL team because of the Mike's curse and because I'll be too compromised when it comes to my picks. So I never put any West Ham players in. I never ever put a West Ham player like West Ham outfield players. The only one that you know that's guaranteed to play is Bowen. But then again, he hasn't even been played properly this season. They haven't really positioned him properly, even up front or on the touchline, as I've complained about all season. You'd like to think that Somerville starts this game, but how many times have we discussed this, guys? How many times have we discussed this where it's Crescentia Somerville should start today, and he doesn't because it's Lopetegui. It's Lopetegui in charge. I think Fulcrook should have got a rest, whether he played well or shit last game. He should get a rest because this is 2 games in a row. We're playing in midweek. I don't think Danny Ings is a good starter. So play Bowen up front. I don't really like seeing a Bowen up front. We don't have much choice. Play Kudus on the right, play Somerville on the left. And he's probably going to play Soler in the 10, which is fine. Soler's good in the middle, regardless. As long as he's not playing on the wing, I don't really care. I don't want to see none of this Soufal at right centre-back and Wan-Bissaka at wing-back nonsense that I saw when Soufal, for some reason, came on against Brighton and Bournemouth to see out 2 1-1 draws. And it worked. It worked to see out the draws, but this is not the kind of mentality I want at my club. You're drawing 1-1, so you'd rather see out the point than get all 3. That is what we had last season. That is the kind of manager we had last season. And we've got the same pretty much exact kind of philosophy as we've already got from last season. So it's kind of like, you know them 2 fat people that like front flip on each other, they look like the exact same, they're twins. That is Moyes and Lopetegui right there. But in fact, this one has got acne scars on his face. That is Lopetegui. He's just Moyes with acne scars. He's Moyes with an even worse hairline. A Moyes with even a worse hairline. This manager literally should be incarcerated. I can't lie. I feel like they always put this manager with other La Liga managers in conversation. He should be in conversation with like Diddy and like whoever else is in prison, Lil Durk, and like just incarcerate him with them. Put him on a RICO case. Moyes had aura, you're taking a piss. If Southampton had ambition like Forest, they would spend big correctly. They would spend big on defenders as well, because even then you could argue that like promoted teams especially don't have the pool to get the kind of defenders they need to survive, for example, the kind of centre-backs especially. But Nottingham Forest went out there and spent, and it was their first time in the Premier League for how long? And to be fair, they stuck it out with Niakate and Joe Worrell. Now they've got Murillo, Marato, and Milinkovic as their centre-back options. If they spent properly, they wouldn't still have Stevens and Bednarek. They would have Harwood Bellis and someone serious, instead of just backups like Nathan Wood and Ronnie Edwards. I'm pretty sure Ronnie Edwards is out on loan. Or I don't know whether they bought him to loan him back out, but Ronnie Edwards is a player from Peterborough. Nathan Wood's a player from Swansea, and you can buy from the Championship. You can buy from the lower leagues to boost your squad, but you're still playing them under Bednarek and Stevens. Bednarek and Stevens were 2 of the centre-backs last season that got Southampton relegated. Them 2 and what? Bella Kotchap and Salisu. Salisu and Bella Kotchap were actually decent. Bella Kotchap is at the club, I'm pretty sure still, but fallen out with the manager at the time. I don't think he's in the plans. I don't know where he is now. Salisu's at Monaco. But Stevens and Bednarek got them relegated, and they're still sticking with them, which is what I don't get as well. Shout out to Clicks as well. 2-0 West Ham. Big up, Mikes. I hope so. I hope we win. But it is what it is. The Paella Pochettino, legitimately. He needs to go to a national team or just retire. I say retire. I don't think anybody deserves to see that. Actually, then again, with the phrase I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy is the biggest lie. I probably would wish on my worst enemy. So what lineup do you think Southampton and West Ham are going to put out? Sure, let me go have a look at Southampton's last lineup. Let me look at Southampton's lineup real quick. And let me get also. Okay. Had Armstrong, Dibbling, Ogachukwu came off the bench. Let me look at just quickly their injury news. I don't know. I haven't seen their injury news real quick. Why is my Mac is frozen? Give me a sec. Okay, it's not scrolling up. I don't know what's happening here. I think because my Mac isn't working, I'll just list it off. I think Ramsdale will be in goal. 3-4-2-1. So Harwood, Bellis, Nathan Wood, and Bednarek. They'll have Walker Peters and Sugawara. They might line up Walker Peters and Ryan Manning. Ryan Manning's was actually one of the few decent players that was actually playing quite well before Russell Martin got sacked. So I'll say Walker Peters and Ryan Manning. Ryan Manning left wing back, Walker Peters right wing back. Aribo and Downs again in the pivot. Fernandez just in front. Armstrong and Onuachu maybe up front. I think they might play the big man up front this time because maybe to rest Dibbling. He took him off at halftime, so I just assumed that he won't start this one. But they played 3-1. They played 3-4-1-2 last game. With West Ham, Fabianski in goal. I think he'll play Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Kilman, and Emerson in the back four. Souček, Alvarez in the pivot. Kudus, Soler, Somerville, Bowen. So Bowen up front, Kudus, Soler, Somerville, and the three behind. I think that's what he should do. Well, I don't know if that's what he should do. He should probably, send Alvarez to Uzbekistan. But I think that's what he will do. Listen, I've not got one lineup that I've wanted all season, so I'm not even going to bother with my preferred one. But I think that's what he will do. I think because he doesn't really have much choice. I think he's going to rest Fulkirk to put Somerville in. I doubt he will start Danny Ings. Doesn't like Danny Ings, which is fair enough. I think he makes good impact off the bench. I don't think he should start, to be fair to him. I've never said he should start, really. So in this case, it makes sense to put Bowen up front, even though he's not a striker. How many times do I have to say this? He's not a striker. Jared Bowen should be in the pockets, shooting on goal. In the pockets on the wing, shooting on goal. Just peppering shots. Making the goalkeeper tired. Making the goalkeeper absolutely tired. Like, I want Ramsdale to have a horrible day. Horrible day trying to save every Jared Bowen shot. I need Kudus to be on it. I need Somerville to be on it. Because I cannot take another. I can't take a loss to a promoted team. I'm sorry. I've had enough of that. I've had enough of that over the years. The losses to Brentford when they first came up, but constant tormention of getting tormented by Brentford. When we lost to Forest in their first home game of the season. So I thought we actually don't have a good record at St. Mary's. I think the last time we won at St. Mary's, in their last season, I'm pretty sure we drew 1-1. Declan Rice scored. The year before that, we drew 0-0. The year before that was the lockdown. We drew 0-0. Last three visits have been draws at St. Mary's. The time before that was the 1920 season. So that was the last time we won there. The last time we won there was 1920 in 2019. So we haven't won there in 5 years. With Southampton, it's not necessarily like a bogey ground. It has been recently, but just in general, Southampton, West Ham, it's like you never know what result's going to happen. Either we beat them 3-0 or they beat us 3-0. Like, that's what used to happen when we both came up. We actually, funny enough, before they got relegated, we both came up together. when we last got relegated in the 10-11 season, the three teams that came up was West Ham, Southampton, and Reading. And said, Mike's with dipstick Sullivan. I would not be surprised if he was to sell. Could have said a man says he might bid 75 million. We never saw him selling anymore with Sullivan. Standard power taken away. Standard never really had power unless it's identifying players. But I don't think he will sell him in January. And he's got an 85 million release clause. And he's already leaked to ex-West Ham employee that either 100 million, over 100 million or nothing in January. And obviously they've got a release clause in the summer. So bring Leslie home. I don't think you need him, to be fair, but he's a good player. But with West Ham and Southampton, we came up together. So everyone remembers the Nigel Adkins team with Ricky Lambert, Stephen Davis, Morgan Schneiderlin, Lallana, Rodriguez, Maya Yoshida. I think what's his name, Osvaldo or whatever the fuck his name was. What's his name in goal? Kelvin Davis in goal. That team came up and I'm pretty sure they beat City the first game of the season. That was like when Ward-Prowse was like 16. They came up with that team, and they were in the Premier League ever since then. And obviously they got relegated the last time under three managers: Hassan Hootel, Nathan Jones, and Ruben Sellers. And they lasted. Well, they got relegated in 2023. Got promoted in 2012, so they lasted 11 years. So. This musty guy, bro. Such a troll, man. Such a troll. Big up to yourself as always. But this is if we lose this game, obviously you're gonna see it on the watch along. If you're not watching someone else, I know there's 3:00 games. I know Chelsea are playing. I think Newcastle and Villa are playing, etc. So I don't know how many of you will be tuned in, but it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day. Because even if we win, I don't think it'll be like a terrific performance where we play Southampton off the park. It'll be one where 2 individual moments, 2 quick goals, and then it's just, flying aeroplanes like Arteta. And said post-match review run. Don't put that foresight into the earth, man. Into the earth. Because there's no point being on the side of even wanting West Ham to lose anymore to get rid of the manager, because the manager isn't leaving. So it's kind of a thing where you just got to stick with what you have. And now we're at a point where if we lose to Southampton, nothing's going to change apart from the fact that we've lost again. Legit. I don't think we will lose to Southampton, though. I don't think we'll lose to Southampton. And this is coming from me, the most negative West Ham fan of all time. I know, right? Most negative West Ham fan of all time. You've got to be some fucking miserable guy. But do you expect me to be positive as a West Ham fan? I don't think so. But I guess that's what's entertaining for all the people that don't support West Ham that watch this channel. But this is the thing. I know that even if we win, I'm still not probably going to be happy, because even against Brighton, I'm like, where are the goals coming from? And the thing is, when you watch West Ham United and you look at the team that we have, like Bowen, Kudus, Paquetá, Somerville, Fulkirk, if he's when fully fit, Soler in midfield, and even Souček when he's on it, and stuff like that, and Emerson and Wan-Bissaka as your wingbacks and your fullbacks or whatever. Where are the goals coming from? I've listed good players. I've listed players that can get goals, but with this manager, where are the goals coming from? I watched the Brighton game. I was at the Brighton game. The only time we looked like scoring was in the first 20 minutes, and that was because we made some good moves and we put the ball in the box, but the ball was getting cleared. It wasn't because we tested Bart Verbruggen, the Brighton keeper. It wasn't because we tested him. That wasn't the case. It was because we had more of the ball in their area, in their box. But after that 20-minute, they made a mistake. Souček put a good ball through to Bowen. He made that chance out of nothing and could have scored at the end. But I didn't see where the goal was coming from apart from that. We hit them on transition. So when a team has opened and they've made a mistake, yes, we can score from that. So that leads on to this game as well, because what has made Southampton 20th is overplaying out from the back. Now, playing out from the back, there's nothing wrong with playing out from the back if you know how to do it and if you have the players to do it. Southampton don't have the players to do it, not in the Premier League. They have the goalkeeper to an extent with Ramsdale, even though he has a mistake in him. Let's be real, he has a mistake in him. They don't have the centre-backs too. Carl Walker-Peters is good. Sugawara is good. These guys are good under pressure. Flynn Downs is good under pressure. But they're not invincible. They're not invincible. But here's the thing: what do I always say about West Ham? We play high up the pitch, but we don't press. So Southampton probably won't make a mistake unless they literally pass the ball to us. But what Southampton are prone are, even with the Fulham game, even under the caretaker, because it isn't just a manager structure, the players aren't good at playing out from the back. The defenders aren't good at playing out, apart from Flynn Downs like dropping in and stuff. And it actually benefits them to play against a team that is spacious. That's why they showed good moments against Arsenal when they took the lead against Arsenal. And that's why they showed good moments against Liverpool. Because the team has space. So when a team does press and you play out from the back, you are likely to get a couple of attacks out of that. That is still likely to get a couple of attacks. Like, you're likely to run at players. You're likely to get the ball into midfield. Like, Man United were open. They got at Man United. But this is the thing. We've seen it with multiple games. The game against Brentford at the start of the season, the game against Chelsea, the game against Liverpool in itself. When teams press them and they play out from the back, they can't play out from the back. Like, when it's aggressive, when you get your press on point, we don't press. We don't press. It's Bowen running up to the keeper and telling someone to come with him, and then nobody goes with him. So then how to play past West Ham is just play it to a person forward to you, have a spare man in midfield, play a little box in midfield, and you've got West Ham. You've got Lopetegui's West Ham. You can switch it to the other end, and then you can create a dangerous chance. That kind of sums it up. Big up to Archangel as well. Hiya, Mikes, and everybody. Big up to you all. Great channel as always, Mikes. Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a great time with friends, family, and hopefully a good result tomorrow. My name's not Michael, but I'll let you off, Archangel. You're an OG. So shout out to yourself as well. Merry Christmas to you as well. By the way, I'm not going to reveal my full actual name, but my name is Mikey. So if you want to call me Mikey, that's fine. Mikey or Mikes. And Mikey's not short for Michael either. I know people get that misconstrued. Like, when I introduce myself to people and I say my name is Mikey, people are like, but what's your actual name? My name's Mikey. It's on my birth certificate. Oh, you're Michael. Oh, you're Michael. Okay, you're my name, but just you're an actual name. You've got an actual name. You've got an actual name. I thought you were saying it because what's it? Melon called me Michael earlier. Melon knows my name is not Michael. But shout out to yourself, bro. Shout out to yourself. Like, when I introduce myself to people, what's your real name? What do you mean, what's my real name? I get called Mike a lot, so I think a lot of people on YouTube even think my name is Michael, but nah. But shout out to yourself, bro. Shout out to yourself. But what do you guys think is going to happen in this game? What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you guys think that we're going to get a result of the line? Am I being too positive for once by saying that West Ham United are going to win the game? Or am I just being realistic? Because Southampton are dog shit. Let's be real with it. Southampton are dog shit. But we're dog shit. The dog shit just stinks slightly less than theirs. Down the south coast, it is looking long for them. They never used to worry about Bournemouth or care about Bournemouth, but Bournemouth are doing big things. I'm pretty sure Bournemouth are like 5th or 6th. Meanwhile, they're 20th. 2-0 West Ham win, they're really bad. Yeah, I agree. I think 2-0. I think 2-0 is spot on. I'll be surprised if we don't. I don't think we'll score like mad goals or anything, but I'm just saying the reason why I think we'll win this is because we still have them odd games in us, like the Newcastle game, like the Wolves game, where we win not because we're good, but because the opponent are worse than us in that 90 minutes. Even though Newcastle are a better team than us overall, they weren't better in that 90 minutes. And also not that much better than us, because Newcastle have been severely average. They've got individual quality as well. They've also got a way better coach as well. That helps. They're just a team that looks like they lack investment, which they have over the past few years. Wolves just had a terrible manager. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a win against Man United. You know, they're in a bit of a mess at the moment. I think you'll win that game as well. If I'm completely honest. But what I'm going to do, guys, I am going to end it there. The reason why I'm going to end it there is because I'm sweating and I'm tired as well. I'll be real. I'm just tired. But I've got a Christmas special coming tomorrow. At 12 p.m. It's already going to be scheduled, but pretty much by the time the stream ends. And also got the watch along Southampton versus West Ham United watch along, 2:45 on Boxing Day. And then we've got the show at Prime. Got to hit Prime up to see what time you can do, but we've got the show at Prime on Thursday as well. We've got a Liverpool match preview on Friday, if I'm not out all day Friday as well. Shout out to Barrio as well. Merry Christmas Eve, Mikes. Merry Christmas to yourself as well. I'm glad your team is spending this wonderful holiday down there. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you. But big up to yourself as always. But listen, people, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to like the video, subscribe at GVO Mikes on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok if you want to follow me. Merry Christmas.